Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to High Spots and Cheap Pops. It's a moment in the valley, and guess what we are doing? We're talking Roman Reigns, we're talking Paul Heyman, and we're going to be talking, of course, Brock Lesnar. Ladies and gentlemen, we had SmackDown last night. Last night we saw it. Roman Reigns, the highly anticipated meeting between he and Paul Heyman. Roman came out and he said he didn't like when the Usos lose, but we're family, we're going to get through it. He says, Paul Heyman, you and I aren't family. And then he asked a bunch of questions and he wanted the truth. And it was revealed that Paul Heyman has been advocating for Brock Lesnar to protect. Roman asks, he said, why are you protecting Brock Lesnar from me? And Paul Heyman said, no, my tribal chief, I am protecting you from Brock Lesnar. Roman then hugged him, said, I thank you for 40 years of service. You're fired. Turned around and then turned around as if he was walking away. And then turns around and lays Paul Heyman out with a Superman punch. I did not see this coming, folks. I did not see the culmination, if it is a culmination, and because it could go two ways, of this particular storyline. And they were about to do what appears to be a concerto. Lesnar's music hits. He comes out and absolutely beats the living crap out of the Usos. The Usos go down. They meet him in the... And they do this a lot. And both companies do this. So to make the heel look a little bit less of a pussy, they send the two goons, this case the Usos, after Lesnar down the ramp. Lesnar dispatched them really quickly. Then Reigns, wielding a chair, welcomed Brock Lesnar in, beat him down with a chair, but Lesnar shook it off, gave him an F5, and then gave another F5. So it does appear, at least on the surface, Paul Heyman is no longer the wise man. He is no longer the special counsel for the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline are by themselves. Wow. This was honestly the best 10 minutes of WWE television I have seen in years. I was interested. And by the way, I've seen these two guys go at it, Lesnar and Reigns go at it for years. And it's never been that great. Good. It was the best they ever got. Until Seth Rollins came out. And I was like, oh. And that was that WrestleMania. And then, they had one of the most infamous WrestleManias ever with the crowd actually chanting boring in the main event at WrestleMania during their match. And it was before WWE was able to really get the finer points of pumping in artificial sound into a venue so you can't hear what the crowd's actually saying. So that was that after he won with, I think, his 17th F5. Threw the belt at Vince McMahon because he was so pissed off about how that main event went. So this hasn't been a great storied feud, and certainly a lot of people think they might get a third WrestleMania main event. It's not Austin Rock. The first, let's be honest. And if WWE does that, they'll allow it to be, oh my God, but let's be honest. The first one was okay, but it was a typical Brock Lesnar match. The magic happened when Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank. And the second one was possibly next to Miz Cena, one of the worst WrestleMania main events ever. That's, by and large, what is considered to be the truth by many people. I don't remember another WrestleMania main event that boring chance happened. If anyone can remind me or find that out, please send them to me. Because I don't remember Austin Rock ever getting a boring chant in the middle of their match. I don't even remember boring-ass Hulk Hogan, who had the same match with every single guy. I never heard a boring chant. That is unprecedented waters achieved by Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So that's who we're dealing with. But this is interesting because it has you here. Roman Reigns' character now is actually, I don't want to necessarily use the word believable, but it comes from a real place. And it comes from something you can relate to. His relationship with Paul Heyman. The relationship between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. This means something. Paul Heyman has been brilliant through this whole thing. So, now where do we go? The obvious is Brock Lesnar now has Paul Heyman as his advocate, and Roman Reigns is going to go it alone, or just with the Usos. But that guy in the back of my head, maybe it's a screw job. I always think Paul Heyman's got something up his sleeve. Paul Heyman is not a baby face. If he's a baby face, it's very brief. Paul Heyman is not staying a baby face. So a part of me is getting kicked in the balls thinking that this is just to set up Paul Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar at day one, which I do think is going to happen. Brock Lesnar is not beating Roman Reigns. Flip side of that, folks, if you listen to our podcast, which is on YouTube right now, we're going to be dropping some videos and highlights from that over the next day or two. Big E, I had mentioned that it looked to me, I'm predicting that Lesnar and Lashley will face for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. However, there's been a wrinkle thrown in my face that I might have to change what I was saying, as Big E was interviewed recently, and he said that he wants to face Goldberg at WrestleMania because it would be a full circle story. I hate you, Big E, just for that. I loved you, now I hate you. It's amazing. I'm just kidding, I don't hate you. But if anyone knows this show and knows me, you know I'm not excited about any kind of Bill Goldberg interaction on any kind of wrestling match. And I will not watch him. I will not. I mean, I don't know. It's rough. I don't like Bill Goldberg. I think he's one of those guys that takes and takes and takes and takes from the business and never gave back. Prove me wrong on that. Just takes and takes and takes and takes and takes. Took Bret Hart's career. Took a lot of other guys, at least damaged a lot of the guys' career because he was unsafe. So I'm not excited about Bill Goldberg being anywhere near WrestleMania. So those are your two things. Is it going to be Big E and Goldberg? Does Big E really want to face Goldberg? Jesus Christ, it sucks. Anyway, Big E or Goldberg, or it's going to be Lashley and Lesnar. So it's 4 completely different options. Now, does Goldberg come back and fight for a championship? That would rub some people the wrong way. You could see Big E fighting Goldberg at WrestleMania, and that's who Big E faces. But the title match will still be Lesnar and Lashley. So that's what we got going on, folks. What do you think is going to be happening with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman? Let me know. Is Paul Heyman now going to be an advocate full-time for Brock Lesnar? Or is this just something to set up a giant swerve on day one? Mom's basement into the show. I'm not really. Anyways. The bottom line here is Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, the best interest it's had. They've tried this story. They've tried these 2 characters, 3 characters really, for years. They finally are knocking it out of the park. So I kudos to WWE, because everyone always says we kill WWE too much. No, we don't. We want WWE to be good, and I am acknowledging great job of programming. I'm not mentioning the rest of SmackDown because the rest of SmackDown was a big, giant, heaping pile of dog shit that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy to watch. This has been your moment in the Valley, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Silicon Steve Valley here on High Spots and Cheap Pops. Please check us out. Smash the subscribe button. I hate saying that, but I do it every single week. Drop the Macho Man Randy Savage elbow on the subscribe button. Follow us on Spotify. And if you like what you see, baby, subscribe, like I said, and share it with people. We're trying to help entertain you and bring the intelligent wrestling fan a voice. Thank you so much, guys. If you want, follow me on Twitter. We are at HSCP Wrestling. Again, that's at HSCP Wrestling. And I'm there, of course. And you can also follow Silicon Steve Valley Show at SSV Show on Twitter as well. So do all that great stuff. We love you guys. Thank you so much. The launch is less than a month away, or actually just a little over a month away from the news organization that is going to be High Spots and Cheap Pops. Onward and upward. Thank you so much for everybody. This is Silicon Steve Valley. We'll see you very, very soon as we drop you here on High Spots and Cheap Pops.